Welcome to the Country Castle. Today I am sharing my top 5 homemaking tips to creating a beautiful home, a healthy rhythm, and happy children. I really am excited to share these tips with you because I think the last couple tips just might surprise you. So thank you for joining my channel and coming along. I am also so excited today to be able to collaborate with Elli Hurst of The Fruit of Her Home. Elli is a mother and a homemaker and a homesteader. She also homeschools her kids, and she is a master at living minimally and simply. So give her a follow. I have absolutely loved watching her journey, and I love connecting with like-minded mamas on this space. And I am so glad to introduce her to you today. My first tip as a homemaker is to have a consistent morning routine. After we get ready for the day, we put in that very first load of laundry. I have shared my laundry hack. We only do one bedroom at a time per day. So the laundry that comes downstairs goes back up to the same room. This makes it so that you don't have to put that laundry into different rooms. There is no sorting. And doing it in the morning means by lunchtime, we are folding it and putting it back away, getting that task done for the day, and then we can do any other cleaning things that need to be done. I always try to have all of my cleaning and routines done before noon, and then that gives me the afternoon to bake and do whatever else needs to be done for that day. Speaking of baking, I am baking some sourdough bagels today for the kids to have an after-school snack. And this brings me to tip number 2, which is to clean up after each meal or after every time that you make something in the kitchen or bake. This just keeps you ahead of everything. And I promise, just being in the habit of cleaning up a pan immediately after you use it, first of all, it's way easier to clean the pan when you've just used it than letting it sit and pile up in the sink. So I always try to have all of our cleaning up of the kitchen done right after every meal. I'm not perfect at this, but I do know that it is such a game changer to be in the habit of just cleaning up, tidying up as you go. And that is tip number 2. This is about my 3rd batch of bagels that I've made this week. I am still working on the recipe and trying to tweak it a little bit more before I share it, so hopefully I'll be sharing that soon. But I wanted to bring you to tip number 3, and that is to have a plan for dinner. There's nothing worse than having that anxiety about what are we making for dinner. I do this by either having a meal plan hanging up in my kitchen or just knowing the night before that I have leftover chicken, I've got some tortillas, I'm going to make enchiladas, whatever it is. Think about it so that you're not worrying about it is just such a great way to be able to be ready for your family, and just having a plan means you are also going to be saving money. I've mentioned this in previous videos about how I used to try to make money from home and be a boss babe, and honestly, we have made way more money by me not trying to make money because I am able to intentionally plan out our budget better, and that for sure circles around preparing food and being able to use the most out of your budget and not eating out or running to the grocery store when you don't need to, because we all know that those little grocery store runs are the runs that add up the most and that really kill your budget. So having a dinner plan has been the best thing for our family and our budget and for my peace of mind. My favorite part about being a homemaker and intentionally being in my home and in my moments is the fact that I get to witness the masterpiece of my 7-year-old's bed and how the blankets are a mess, but every single piece of his bed is perfectly placed the way that he wants it to be, that I don't need to rush getting my children ready, that we can really take our times to be with each other, to get ready every morning, and to just enjoy these moments. Thank goodness for leftover spaghetti saving the day and giving us our lunch today, making it super easy. I love being able to toss in leftovers, heat them up, because I do not want to have to cook every single meal. And that brings me to tip number 4, which is allow the mess. I don't want to spend all of my day cleaning and cleaning up after my kids. I don't want my kids to feel like they can't make messes and they can't just live free. So we tidy up at the end of the day, and through the day is when we get to create, we get to have fun, we get to build forts. So I feel like being a good homemaker means that you are creating a home that your children feel loved and safe in. And that is much more important than having it perfectly clean all the time. And that is tip number 4. I have been sharing my journey of motherhood over the last few months with you, and I have been a mother for 18 years, and there are so many mistakes that I have made, and one of them being tip number 5, which is to take the time every single day to play with your children. Build forts, do puzzles, draw at the table, coloring, even if it's sitting watching a show. And I'm going to share with you a little story. The other day, I sat down next to my kids to watch a show, and admittedly, I will use a show to go do something else just to kind of distract them for a little bit. I try not to have it on all the time. But I sat down with my kids and I was watching the show with them, which is something I don't typically do. And my 4-year-old son, Alfie, turns to me and says, "Mom, I'm so glad that you are watching the show with us. It makes it more important." And like I said, I am learning from my kids all the time, and they are teaching me what is the most valuable. So don't miss out on those opportunities to connect with your children and to let them know that first and foremost, they are priority. About once or twice a week, I will make my famous brown butter chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going to make them today to go along with our sourdough bagels. Yes, the browned butter is the magic of this recipe, and you never have to have softened butter to make cookies. I am not a softened butter kind of gal because I never think ahead, and this recipe is just the only recipe you'll ever need. So I've linked it below. I am going to give these bagels a quick boiling sugar bath before we start baking them. We love to pull out these bagels fresh from the oven. We will slice them in half, put some cream cheese and ham, and just make a little sandwich. Some just want plain cream cheese. They are not hard to put together. They are super simple. And you saw earlier they did not look good, but they come out looking beautiful. I also wanted to share with you this painting that I am putting up. We love to have original artwork in our home, and we bought this one from a friend of ours who is an artist. The man who built our home back in 1905 made his fortune by distributing eggs. He would buy eggs from farmers and then he would resell them. And so our house is actually called The House That Eggs Built, and there's stories about it online if you Google it. It is such a fun story, and this painting is a nod to Soren, who built our home. I could probably bake these cookies in my sleep with how many times I have made them. They are our go-to recipe. Like I said, if you make them, you will never go back. You won't ever try any other recipe. I feel like it's the holy grail of chocolate chip cookies. It gives you just the perfect balance of sweet. And I also sweeten mine with coconut sugar with just a little bit of white sugar, so they're not as unhealthy for you, which I always like to substitute my brown sugars. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I love making them and I love being a part of this community. I have found nothing but just kindness, and I always say the YouTube community has been the most gracious and kind through all of my videos and all of your comments, and I'm so grateful for that. So keep the comments coming. I would love to open up a question and answer where you can ask me any question below, and I will gather them up and I will answer all the questions in a video. So if you have a question for me, drop it below and I will answer that in a future video, hopefully soon. I also wanted to share with you this Valentine gift, little treat and gift that I do for my kids for the 14 days leading up to Valentine's. Today I put a little Rubik's Cube in their pillow, and they look forward to this every day. And like I said, life is what we make it. The memories that we give our children, that we share with them, are up to us, and life is beautiful and it's a life worth living. So embrace it, and I hope that you can embrace your role in the home more, and I know your children will love and benefit from that. Thank you again for watching my video, and I hope you have a wonderful day.